Grab a pre-made round tabletop and set a planter on top. Grab some Jenga pieces, glue these down to keep our tabletop from sliding around. Grab some wood stain and put it all over. Now it's some clear polyurethane. Next, it's time for 2-part epoxy and your favorite colors that you want to mix. Next, grab your hair dryer, and we're going to use low heat. Just keep doing this back and forth. Now, once it dries for 24 hours, we're going to do the same process again. Now it's time to make our table. Take that base and you can use it for storage for blankets in the living room. Go ahead and put your tabletop on. Look at that. I hope you love this project. It's so easy to do.
First, we're going to repurpose a 1-gallon glass pickle jar, and then we have some decorative nautical rope. I'm measuring out vertical strips. Now, once I get all of my strips cut, I'm going to start using my glue gun to attach them on the side of the jar. And all I'm doing is I'm evenly spacing these out, and then I'll go in the middle of those sections and put a piece of rope, and then I'll do that, continue on until all 8. And I'm just going to start somewhere and kind of glue in a few places as I'm wrapping around, and then I'll glue the other 2, and it end up being a stack of 3. Just to give it a finished look. It would look good staged and styled for many different seasons.
I have the storage container, giving the container a quick sanding. I always dust my molds with cornstarch. I'm just going to keep adding clay, remove the excess clay, release the clay, and I'm going to lay them all out. I'm using some tacky glue to stick them in place. It's time to paint them. Give the container a beautiful faux stone look. I think this box and the texture are so fun.
2 blue buckets that I found at Dollar Tree, cutting the handles off, glue them together. I'm stacking my other bowl on top of it. We're gonna take our pool noodles and we're gonna start cutting them in half, putting enough glue and then holding the pool noodle in place to form the shape. I'm taking caulk, adding it to the indentations between my pool noodles, but I'm just gonna be painting this entire thing white. Stone spray paint, and we are going to spray it, and here is the finished product.
You'll need a laundry basket. Start at one end and wrap the rope around the basket, gluing as you go. Continue until you have the entire basket covered with the rope. I'm brushing on a wood stain. Find dead center of your tabletop. Find a picture or design you want for your tabletop. Cut away any extra white paper that doesn't have toner on it. Generously apply and brush the photo transfer medium onto the printed side of the paper. I'm adding some transfer medium to the tabletop as well. Carefully place your design face down. Spritz plain water onto the paper. Carefully rub the surface in a circular motion. The paper will start to flake off. Continue rubbing and spritzing until all of the paper is gone. Seal and protect your design with a spray clear coat. Add a couple of handles. The side table is perfect for storing away throws you want to keep nearby.
Grab some of these baskets. Cut the pool noodle with a serrated knife. I hot glued the pool noodle into place. Next, I cut the poster board. I grabbed some dollar store contact paper and then folded up the sides as well. Grabbed a piece of poster board and I measured it into 6 sections. Then I added the pieces of poster board so that items won't fall through the holes. Here's how it turned out, and I absolutely am thrilled.
Connecting 4 buckets by the handles. And I'm going to use a Sharpie to mark where I can connect these buckets. Now I'm going to use a wood burning tool to put some holes. I'm just going to connect them with zip ties again. We're just going to add those holes, add the zip ties. The very top is going to have 1 bucket right on top. So I'm going to clip off all the ends of the zip ties and your toy organizer is done.
Get this tag off of your trash can. I have put on chalkboard stickers. I can add everybody's name. I'm going to go ahead and place the hook, and it's going to fit nice and snug onto the hook with some of our summer supplies, and then we place those into the bucket. Pick a selection of snacks, place the card games in there, and you've got an easy grab and go.
Or grab one of these inexpensive plastic bins. I want to make sure that the surface is roughed up a bit. I'm going to give it a coat of white paint. I'm using a chip brush and then I just lightly sweep it across the surface. And I can even create some faux knots with the glaze as well. Now that the paint and glaze are completely dry, I want to fancy up the handles a little bit. I've grabbed some of this thick twine and I'm going to wrap it around each one. I love how pretty this plastic bin looks now. You wouldn't even know it's the same one.
I'm going to grab this trash can, take the top off. Now I'm going to use a really strong adhesive. I'm going to put it all over the back of the stair tread and then wrap it around the trash can. I want to make this look a little bit antique, so I am using a silver rub and buff. And I'm going to put a little on the bottom of the can too. I'm going to put some drainage holes in this and place it in the top of the trash can. And now I can fill the top with soil and plants. This is an inexpensive way to use an old trash can. You want to pick up 2 bowls. Make sure they are ceramic or glass and that they are heat proof. I took them home and I'm going to give them a coat of spray paint. Once the paint is dry, these bowls have a really nice textured look. I'm just going to use some really strong glue to adhere them together. In the top bowl, I am going to add 3 wicks. I'm just going to use a little bit of hot glue to secure them to the bottom. Then I'm going to grab 2 wooden skewers and wrap the wick around the skewers. This is just going to hold everything in place. Great way to make your own candles is to reuse existing candle wax. I have a couple of these Dollar Tree tall pillar candles, and I'm going to place them in some boiling water. Now make sure you're wearing gloves. These can get really hot, and I'm just going to gently boil this until all the wax is melted. Pour the wax from all the candles into a metal container with a handle. I'm opting to add a little essential oil for some scent, and now we're just going to pour that melted wax. Then you're going to want to walk away for about 24 hours. When it is completely set, you can trim the wicks down and use your candle. I hope this inspired you to grab a ceramic salad bowl from Walmart and make your own.
Separate the layers of a patterned paper napkin. Cut the paper napkin as needed. Now we are going to actually iron the paper napkin onto the taper. Heat and iron to medium-low heat, not too hot. Let the candle cool and start to use in your own home decor. Fill a heat-safe container with hot water between 100 and 110 degrees. Place a taper candle in the hot water and let sit for 10 minutes. Paraffin candle works best for this. After 10 minutes, pull the candle from the water and then wrap the candle in some wax paper. Take a rolling pin and press down on the middle of the candle. Once the middle section is flattened, take the candle and gently twist it into the shape that you want. When you get the twist that you want, place the candle in cold water and this will set the candle in its new shape. Then, have fun displaying your new twisted taper candle. Take painter's tape and tape off sections on a taper candle. Make sure that the edges are pressed down securely on the edges of the tape. Once taped off, paint light coats of acrylic paint in the open sections of the candle in the color or colors of your choice. Let dry completely. Try displaying them in odd-numbered groupings and vary the height of your candlesticks. A variety of colors, textures, and patterns make the display even more interesting and unique.
Start by breaking apart some pillar wax and add it to a pan to melt. After that, melt the mixture. A double boiler is ideal, but if you don't have one, you can use a baking tin or metal bowl on top of a pot with water. Next, grab some crayons and choose colors. Take off the paper and add them to the wax. After that, melt the mixture. Then, grab a recycled carton and unfold it. Cut 2 slits on either side of the top. Wrap the wick around a straw or chopstick to keep it in place. Then, grab some ice. Begin adding ice to the carton mold. Then, pour the wax over the ice and allow it to cool. Repeat this process in all different colors. After they have cooled, grab a towel and carefully cut and rip away the carton. Use them together for a fun party centerpiece or separate to add a pop of color all around your home.
I saw some candles from Pottery Barn. I thought it'd be fun to try making them myself. I'm going to put a little glue into a small container and then add a bit of paint. Now that I have the glue tinted, I'm going to paint it all over the glass dish on the outside. I'm going to leave these for a few hours before moving on. Using some Mod Podge, I'm going to paint it around the dishes. I can sprinkle the white glitter all over it, and then when it dries, the glitter will stay in place. I grabbed these pillar candles from the dollar store, and I'm going to melt them down. I'm just going to use a couple of skewers to hold the wicks in place. I want to add some essential oil to give my candles a beautiful scent. It's time to fill the glass dishes. The final thing to do is to remove the skewers and then trim the wicks. How pretty are these Pottery Barn inspired candles? They even smell as good as they look.
Grab tin cans and a napkin for this brilliant porch decor. I washed 3 tin cans from the recycling, removed the labels, and scuffed up the surface with a wire brush. I wiped clean with a cloth and spray painted the outside of each can with Rust-Oleum paint and primer white spray paint. While that was drying, I spray painted some metal chain black. I set that aside to dry. I used a small drill bit to drill 3 holes evenly spaced along the top edge of the tin can. I drilled holes in the same spots at the bottom edge and the same spots again at the very bottom of the tin can. Then I cut the napkins into smaller pieces and cut around the birds. I painted outdoor Mod Podge on the tin can, placed the napkin pieces on, and sealed it with more Mod Podge. I did this for all 3 tin cans, then used a nail to poke through the holes I drilled to make sure the glue didn't close them over. I let the cans dry, 24 hours is ideal, and hung it on my deck for the most beautiful hanging planter. Nobody would guess that this is made from recycled tin cans and napkins.
Do you have random faux flowers around your house that don't seem to go together? Start by organizing them by color and type of flower. Fill the bottom of the planter with floral foam, stacked vertically next to each other. Tuck them in tightly and fill as much of the planter as possible. Once the foam is snug in the planter, take wooden floral picks and press them into the floral foam with about an inch sticking out. Now, take more floral foam and press them on top of the floral picks so the block is secure and doesn't move. Next, create 4 to 5 bows from ribbon and floral wire. Once all the wire is secure, stick the wood pick into the side of a foam block in the planter. Now, let's add the flowers. Think in terms of color blocking so that similar flowers are placed in the planter together. Start with tall flowers in the back and then add shorter flowers in a contrasting color in front of them. Fill in empty spaces with faux greenery. I hope this inspired you to create a bold and beautiful DIY faux flower arrangement.
To get started, we are going to be using spackling. So I'm just taking a simple spackling knife. We're gonna spread it on all over the pot. What we're gonna do next is we're gonna do like a stamping technique using chicken wires. You wanna just kind of press it in all over, and then we're gonna remove it. And you can see here where it's just gonna give it a little bit of almost like a beehive look to it. So we're gonna go ahead and let them dry. I'm using an indoor outdoor spray paint by Rust-Oleum, and this color is Heirloom White. So now that we have both coats of the spray paint dry, I'm gonna go in and I wanna add some of this multicolor texture by Rust-Oleum. I cannot believe how well these pots turned out. They turned out better than I expected, and they perfectly match the aesthetic of my house.
Now you want to make sure that your glass bowls are very clean. So I'm going to just hold it from the edge, and I'm going to take a gray Crayola crayon and I am going to draw right on my bowl. The next step is you want to take some silver glitter glue, and I'm going to paint my jar with the glitter glue in a crosshatch pattern. I'm going to be using these out of doors, so you definitely have to use some kind of a sealer. The next thing I'm going to do is take some fairy lights and put them right down inside of my jar. Make some of these glowing garden orbs for yourself and enjoy them all summer long. They'll bring magic to your garden, or even just to the pots of flowers that you have by your front door.
Look for flowers in a multi-pack that can be split apart. Take your laundry basket and drill several holes in the bottom with a drill. Line the laundry basket with a burlap bag or burlap fabric. Start to fill the burlap-lined laundry basket with potting soil. Fill to about an inch from the top of the basket. Cut the excess burlap from the top of the basket with some scissors. Starting with the second row of side basket holes, cut the plastic between 2 holes to create one larger hole. Then, cut out the burlap from that larger hole to access the dirt. Take one of your plants and plant it in the hole by pushing it into the dirt behind it. It helps to use your other hand to grab the plant as it comes through the hole and press dirt down around it on the inside of the basket. Once you have the sides of your basket planted, you can plant the top. Set your new planted flower basket outdoors and enjoy watching your flowers grow up the sides of the basket. The next time you are at your local dollar store, pick up some wire garden hanging baskets. Turn one wire basket upside down and place on top of a second basket, secure together by using 3 zip ties that are placed equidistant from each other. Take a string of LED lights, hang the battery box inside the basket globe, and connect to the top. Turn the lights on and wrap the lights evenly around the globe, both vertically and horizontally. Secure the end of the light string to the basket using a twist tie. Using a leafy garland of your choice, start to tuck and glue the different leaves to the wire basket globe. Now, remember all those chains and hooks that you removed from the baskets? Let's put them to good use. Reconnect these chains of different lengths to the hooks and tighten the hook back together using some pliers. If you have a porch swing, here is a fun way to hang the globes without drilling additional holes into your porch ceiling. Thread the stick through your porch swing ceiling hooks to create a horizontal rod and hang your garden globes from the branch. Use your remote to turn the lights on and enjoy the warm glow of your new outdoor lighting.
And grab some planters right off the shelf, some primer, and some textured finish. We're gonna go with this square base. So we're gonna put some glue here right around the edges. And I'm just gonna wipe it around the edge just like this. Put it right on top. This waterproof container right here, flip it over. I can just take the glue now and just put it all inside here. Go ahead and take our pot, put it right inside there. We're gonna go ahead and put some glue right on top. Wanna make sure that we get it just centered perfectly. And I want to put on a good coat of primer. I went with an off-white cream color, get every square inch. Look at how good that looks right at your front door.
I grabbed 2 hanging baskets and liners from Dollar Tree for this epic garden project. I unclipped the chains off of one of the baskets and placed the liners in each basket. Next, I used sharp scissors to cut a slit in the middle of each section and in the center hole at the bottom. Then I grabbed some petunias from my local garden center and carefully placed them into each hole. Planting from the outside worked best for me. I set it aside and repeated the same steps for the second basket. Next, I filled the center of each basket with potting soil and watered it. I gently placed one basket on top of the other and secured them together using 4 black zip ties. At that point, I decided to add in a few more flowers on the edge where the baskets meet. Can you believe this is what mine looked like after 3 weeks?
Using a stencil or freehand, you can paint or use a Sharpie to draw on your numbers. Some glass rocks or any decoration inside you like. Add some water as it will amplify the light reflection. Pull your solar light apart and you only need the top piece. Place that inside the lid of the mason jar and screw the lids back on. Today we're going to be making some camping hacks. Stop your tablecloths from blowing away. Grab some clothespins and clip the clothespins onto the tablecloth to hold the tablecloth into place. Grab some shower caps and you can use these to cover the top of your food to store it. You can also use these to put around your shoes. This will keep your shoes together, keep the dirt out of your tent and car. Grab a cake carrier, open it up, and place your plates and your silverware, napkins, and more into your cake holder. This will now help you transport any of your paper products when you're camping and keep them all together. Grab some condiment bottles from your local store. I'm grabbing a pancake mix and placing the batter into the squeeze bottle. When it's time to use it, I'll simply squirt the batter into the pan and cook up the pancake. Grab a foil pan from the store. You'll also need some charcoal and you'll need a cookie rack. Place the charcoal into the foil pan and then place the cookie rack on top and you've made a portable grill. Grab some lint from your dryer, stuff it into the toilet paper tube and give it a few squirts of hand sanitizer. Place this onto your grill and light it and you can easily get your grill going. Now you can use your grill with ease.
So the first thing we're gonna do is place it upside down. I've got these cushions that tie and you simply set them on top. Another option is to actually put your crate right side up and then place your board on top. So a number of ways that you can mix and match this. You can make things like this that store well.
Headed down to my local Dollar Tree. I'm going to start with these glass beads. I'm going to also head over and get some rubbing alcohol. Next, I grabbed this bowl, got it from Home Depot. I'm going to grab some sand, start putting it in the bottom. So you want to fill it up to where when you get your bowl, you're going to kind of be level with the top and it has a firm foundation. Let's go ahead and start putting some more sand in. so that it holds it in place. So level it out. Make sure that bowl is firm. We don't want any spillage or that thing moving when we light it up. Go ahead and put the metal bowl in, and then remember those glass beads and start placing them all the way around. Take that rubbing alcohol and pour a little bit in there. Give it a little bit of a flame and it's going to light right up. If you need to put it out, you're just going to put a metal lid on top. It's great for just relaxing nearby.
Take 6 cardboard tubes from Amazon and hot glue them together in a circle formation. Next, take drywall spackle and a putty knife to apply it all over the cardboard tube's exterior. Take a 10-inch pizza pan and spackle over the pizza pan top and bottom. Take a piece of flat cardboard and use the cardboard tubes as a guide to trace around the shape. Cut out the shape and hot glue it to the top side of the cardboard tubes. Take a hot glue gun and use it to attach the pizza pan and the top of the cardboard tubes. There you have it, a cheap way to create your own easy modern DIY furniture for your home for less than $20.
You're going to start by flipping it over so the white side is facing down. On the back, I am using 2 paint sticks and I'm going to hot glue them over the creases. This is going to give us one rigid piece of cardboard. So first up, I grabbed a really lightweight towel. So I've ironed out all the creases and then just fold it around the sides and hot glue it in place. This is a really beautiful kind of beachy look.
Take an X-Acto knife and remove the lid flaps. Take hemp rope and a hot glue gun to begin wrapping the rope around the box. Take twine and begin gluing it to the perimeter of the bottom of the box. Take balsa wood oval or circle shapes and paint them with black paint. Print words to be displayed on the side of the box. Cut them out and use pencil to cover the back of the paper. Then trace the font on the balsa wood. Use a chalkboard pen or a white paint pen to cover the pencil traced font. Use a hot glue gun to attach the labels to the side of the box. There you have it, an inexpensive way to create your own pantry storage for your home for less than $10.
CDs? I'll bet you've got a box of them stored somewhere. Using a free online template or drawing freehand, draw the shape of 2 butterflies of the exact same shape and size onto a piece of cardboard. Also, draw and cut a strip of cardboard that is about 1 inch in width and is long enough to completely wrap around your butterfly. Bend and curve the strip as needed and tape on the inside edge of the butterfly. Take the second butterfly cutout and tape it to the top of the cardboard strip. Once that edge is taped, tape the outer edge of the other side as well. Combine a 1-to-1 mixture of flour and water, and then add additional water to get the glue consistency that you want. Cut or tear strips of newspaper and begin to paper mache the outside of the butterfly box. Once dry, spray paint the paper mache butterfly with a metallic silver paint and let that dry. Grab your protective eyeglasses, safety first, and a pair of scissors. Begin to cut the CDs into small squares. Because they soaked in the warm water, cutting them will be slightly easier. Using a hot glue gun, begin to glue the square tiles to the butterfly. Once you have the front and back done, glue tiles to the sides. You can now set your new butterfly on a shelf or table or hang it from a ceiling or from a tree in your yard.
I printed a deer design from my computer and traced it on a clear Ziploc bag. I cut a square hole in the cardboard box using a utility knife. Next, I taped the Ziploc bag design over the hole. Then, I placed the box in front of the wall. I turned my cell phone light on. I put it inside of the box at the opposite end as the design, and I closed the lid. Put covers over the windows. I traced the design on the wall using a pencil. Once I was done, I turned the lights back on and was ready to paint. I was careful to work from top down and left to right so I didn't smudge the wet paint. When it was completely dry, I removed the remaining pencil marks with an eraser and damp rag. And here's my stunning wall feature for only the cost of paint. It really gave this book nook a wow factor and has made 2 boys very happy.
So you're going to need 2 boxes. Now we're going to cut off all of the extra little cardboard pieces, take a pair of jeans that are washed and lay them out. We're going to cut off both of the legs. After that is cut, we're going to go and measure the fabric that's going inside. After those are cut out, let's put some glue in the inner portion. You can use either hot glue or some E6000 glue. And after you have each section glued down, go and cut the corners and then secure it at the sides. So I'm measuring this up now and I'm seeing how much material this is going to go and cover. But at the edge here, I'm going and gluing it down. Now I'm putting some glue onto the box. Let's go and take this and put it down. Go and take off any extra material, but do leave a small amount on the bottom so you can glue this to the bottom. And now let's go and finish off the rest of the box. And while that dries, we're going to go and cut off some of these little tiny pieces for the belt loop, glue these onto the sides. Now we can go and write on the box. Let's go and fill this toys box with some cat toys. And it fits perfectly underneath my cat's scratching post. For my other box, I'm going to use it to go and organize my bathroom closet.
You're not going to believe what I do with this vegetable oil. I added ready mix, concrete mix, peat moss, perlite, and water together and mixed well to create a thick concrete mixture. If you roll it into a ball, it should stick together and then you know it's ready. Next, I oiled the inside of a 20-liter bucket using the vegetable oil, and I carefully packed the concrete into the bucket on the bottom and then worked my way up the sides. I went up about 8 inches, and it was about 1 inch to 1.5 inches thickness. After it dried for 24 hours, I flipped the bucket upside down to take it out, and I used a small wire brush with water to smooth around the top edge and remove any loose dirt and dust around the sides and bottom. Then I used a sponge to apply brown, antique white, and gray acrylic paint around the outside, top, and inside edge of the concrete and blended with a bit of water. Once it dried, I added a tropical plant, and now I have a modern pot that looks like a limestone planter for a fraction of the price.
Who doesn't have a dozen cardboard boxes piling up in their recycle bin? I decided it was time to put mine to use. I started with my largest box. Using my slice box opener, I started by removing all 4 flaps of the box. Once all the flaps were removed, it was time to make a mini box. I secured the long sides with duct tape and began assembling the smaller box. Using duct tape to secure all 4 sides and bottom together, I placed it inside and got started mixing concrete. I also tried adding 2 wooden dowels to later drill out for drainage holes. If you are recreating this project, be sure to line your box with packing tape for easy removal. After waiting 48 hours, just to be safe, I removed the cardboard to reveal my large planter box. After drilling out the dowel holes in the bottom and giving my entire planter a sand to remove any jagged edges, they look so similar to other versions I've seen at high-end stores, but mine only cost me $5 in mortar and cardboard I was going to throw away.
Time to run down to your local baker and grab a big old container of cookies. But even though those cookies are yummy, what we want is that decorative lid. We're going to measure it straight across and get about 10 inches. Lay out some cardboard, and we're going to pick a bowl that's round for us to mark. Just go ahead and lay it on the cardboard and take a marking pen and get you that perfect circle. Now it's time to mix up our cement. Once we get it mixed, carefully lay it inside the bucket. You can see the consistency here is like some really good pudding. Now, once you get the right amount in, you're going to go ahead and just shake it all up. Cut some strips of wood. This one is going to be full 10 inches across, and the other ones are going to be 4 each. And then glue up the ends, lay it out, and fold it in. We want to make sure that all the pieces of the wood fit inside the circle. Take some popsicle sticks and some hot glue. You're going to lay this across the top. This is going to be our clamp that is going to hold the pieces together while that wood glue dries. Flip it over. We're going to do the other side also. Once you get these pieces on, it's so strong, it's time to go ahead and drill them because we want to put these caster legs on there. All we need to do is take some hot glue, put it in, and all 4 wheels go right in there. Now it's time to take those wood and the wheels, and we're going to just shake it back and forth and let it sink right into the concrete. Let it dry for about 24 hours. Go ahead and turn it back over after that 24 hours is up. We're going to use a knife, and we're going to start cutting away the plastic. We need to get some air in there. That's what's going to release our mold from the concrete. Look at that smooth, beautiful concrete. Now it's time to go ahead and take it outside, and we've got the perfect base for a rolling planter, and it looks great. I'm going to grab me some solar lights. Next, head over to the hardware store. I'm going to grab me about 100 feet of nylon rope. First thing I got to do is blow up this dollar beach ball. Then I got to get out some Portland cement. Make sure it's not concrete, but cement. You want it actually really thin because we need to coat that rope. Now, on that beach ball, just start laying that rope. You're just going to start roping it all the way around. Once you get to the end, what you're going to do is tuck that last bit in underneath the rope. It's going to hold it in place. Then what we can do is move on to possibly adding a little bit more cement. Make sure you cover all that rope. We want it to stiffen up as best we can. Let it sit for a couple hours once we get it covered. Once it's covered, take a knife and just puncture the beach ball. Once we get it all the air out, just go ahead and pull it through one of the bigger openings between the ropes. Now, I want to clean it up. Took a little bit of a plastic fork and just clean up the edges. Don't want anything flaking off. Take a squirt bottle and start squirting all the string, and you're just going to powder it with the cement. Just keep doing that all over. What this does is make it thicker and strengthen it up. We're going to grab that dollar light again. Take out the bottom part. You're going to turn it around, put it in, and that's what's going to stick into the ground. Go ahead and put it right into the ground, right in the area you want to put it, and then you're going to take your string orb and you're going to put it right over the light, right in the middle, and lay it on down. Once it's in place, it just looks really good, just sitting there. It's waterproof because it's on the nylon rope and it's made out of cement. But once night comes, look at it light up. It is amazing to see from your yard and from the street. So I'm going to start scraping all the grass out of the area, kind of level it up, and then I'm going to grab some high strength concrete mix. Go ahead and get some water, pour it in. Now this concrete mix is going to be a little soupier than normal, so just keep mixing. Add water as you need. I want it to slide right off the tool. Now, grab a quart bag, Ziploc if you can, and we're going to start filling these up. No more than 3/4. What you're going to need to do is make sure that you get all of the air out. Now, find that area and start placing those bags, and then start shaking it. It's going to expand as the concrete settles. Smooth it out, and then place the next one next to it. Part of this, I've got a surprise for you. I took some rocks that glow during the night. I'm going to cut a top part of the bag out, peel it away, and I'm going to take those little pebbles and put them in there. Once these are in and the bags have dried overnight, start cutting the plastic and you're going to peel it away. Take some sand and place it all in between the cracks. Now you can just dump it out. I like to spread it a little evenly just to make sure I fill it really good. Once you got it on there, go ahead and start brooming it off. It's going to fill the cracks, and there it is. Our antique, rustic, cobblestone looking path. And do you remember those glowing pebbles? Here it is at night leading the path. They are so nice.